Hello, my name is Carla Baresi, and the research paper topic for paper number 2 will be malware in the financial industry. Reasons why I picked this topic. Computing security in the financial industry impacts everyone. As a banking customer, I wanted to further investigate and understand security issues that financial sectors face. Also, I wanted to learn preventative measures to take as a customer and enhance my knowledge of computing security issues in the financial institution. Topics covered in this presentation include background on malware in the financial industry, how malware is introduced, threats and vulnerabilities associated with malware in the financial institution, and safeguards to be implemented in a financial institution. Background. In 2016, the Financial Industry Cybersecurity Report ranked cybercrime as the second most economic crime. Primary targets for cybercrimes are financial institutions. Malware is the leading cybersecurity agent impacting 75% of U.S. banks. Also, globally and locally, financial institutions have been impacted by malware. Institutions include Charles Schwab, Scottrade, and the Central Bank of Bangladesh. Forms of malware include viruses, Trojan horses, worms, bugs, adware, and bots. There are several mechanisms for how malware is introduced in a financial institution. Mechanisms include installed by a remote attacker, email, web and internet auto-infection, installed by other malware, network propagation, and supply chain attack. Installed by a remote attacker. Attacker gains access to the internal system and utilizes SQL injections to allow remote command execution. Email. Attacker uses phishing techniques to trick the users into clicking an email link. When the users click the email link, the link contains malware to obtain the user's login credentials, which include usernames and passwords. Web and internet auto-infection. Malware is introduced and spread without the user's knowledge or active participation. Attackers use malvertising. Malvertising involves an attacker injecting malware into a real or fake online advertisement. Malware installed by other malware. This is due to the fact that most financial institutions don't take appropriate actions to block outbound browsing. Network propagation. Cyber attackers gain unauthorized access to the network to introduce malware. This is transpired by configuration changes to the internet-facing equipment, which is located behind firewalls. Supply chain hacks. Cyber attackers launch a breach on the vendor's website. This replaces software updates with Trojan packages. Trojan packages are downloaded by banking officials. Malware threats and vulnerabilities to financial institutions. These include identity theft, fraudulent banking transfers, data breaches, loss of critical and proprietary information, failure of the customers to access account and billing information, and failing of customers to conduct online transactions. Malware threats and vulnerabilities are noted in denial of service attacks, ACH payment account takeover, and compromising third-party and cloud computing services. Denial of service attacks. Denial of service attacks are launched against community, regional, banks, and credit unions. The purpose of denial of service attacks in the financial industry are to flood banking sites, and services. Upon flooding banking sites and services, banking services become unavailable to customers and banking officials. ACH payment account takeover is a form of identity theft. This form of identity theft involves the introduction of malware, which allows the attacker to gain access to login credentials. The login credentials, which are the account holder's username and password, are utilized to conduct fraudulent bank transfers and steal money from the customer's accounts. Compromising third-party and cloud computing services. Majority of financial services use third-party cloud computing services to provide critical services. Introducing malware in third-party and computing services compromises the CIA triad. The CIA triad involves confidentiality, integrity, and availability, which is used to protect data storage and retrieval of pertinent, critical, and proprietary information. The following safeguards should be implemented in a financial institution to combat the introduction of malware and threats and vulnerabilities associated with malware. Safeguards include access control procedures, system use notification, security awareness and training policies and procedures, audit reporting and monitoring, and developing security testing. Access control procedures are policies and procedures which govern the requirements for effective controls for accessing the system and its components. System use notification tracks all activities happening in the system, notifies customers of suspicious or malicious activities through SMS text messaging, email, and phone calls. Security awareness and training policy is a formalized document which contains guidelines and rules for security awareness and training protocols. Audit reporting and analysis examines audit trails for suspicious or malicious activities to allow banking officials to conduct appropriate mechanisms to patch security flaws and holes in the system. And the final safeguard that should be implemented should be developer security testing, in which testing conducted to allow banking officials to determine security holes and how to patch holes through introducing proper security mechanisms. Thank you.